just woke up about half an hour ago, so if I sound like I just woke up, it's because I literally just woke up. It's early on a Saturday morning. I'll wait for people to join, but if you did not know, yesterday a movie on Netflix called To the Bone was released, and if you don't know what that is, I suggest you watch it, whether you have gone through an eating disorder or not. Basically, it's about a 20-year-old who is going through an eating disorder, anorexia. So, of course, when I heard that this was going to come out, I was intrigued, I was interested, I was like, I want to watch this, I want to see if they glamorize it, if they glorify the illness, how they portray it. I was very, very interested. So that when I saw that it was on Netflix yesterday, I was like, I need to watch this. So I want to give a little review. Some things may be triggering if you are recovering from an eating disorder or have an eating disorder. Just be cautious when you watch it. I'm not going to say don't watch it, but there are some points in the movie that I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I could relate to it and it brought back some bad memories. So the first thing, can someone let me know if the quality and the voice sounds good in the video? Give me some thumbs up. First thing I want to say, and if you watched it and you agree, I do not think that it was glamorized at all. It showed a pretty clear, thank you for the thumbs up, a pretty clear vision that eating disorders are not glamorous. It showed the person very sick, very ill. It showed, thank you for saying good, it showed her being very sad. It showed the struggles that the family was going through. So I do not think whatsoever that it was glamorized. If someone who doesn't understand eating disorders or it's new to them watched it, I don't think they would think that it was a glamorous thing. With that being said, the starting I really liked. I was like, wow, this is going somewhere. I thought that it was portrayed in a very honest way. The fact that she knew the calories for every single food, the fact that she was doing sit-ups and she had bruises in the back on her spine because she had such a low body fat, but she was doing sit-ups non-stop. It showed all these compulsive behaviors that people with eating disorders have, and I thought that was represented really well. It also showed during a group therapy session, which was stated in more of an obvious way. The counselor said that an eating disorder is an addiction, much like alcoholism or drug abuse. It's a way to cope with negative emotions, because the fact of starving yourself or binging or whatever is euphoric. And I do agree with that, and I'm glad that they noted that it's more about control. They never once really said it's about being skinny or it's about not liking food. I think the general population doesn't understand eating disorders and they think that's what it's about. So I did like that. And at the beginning I thought, wow, this is really going somewhere, whatever. And then as it started to go on, I felt like it was kind of slowing down and it was getting really vague, and it never really gave a clear answer as to why she was developing and developed an eating disorder. I mean, it touched on family problems, which I understand, but again, that was very vague. And I do understand that everyone develops an eating disorder for many reasons, for many different reasons, but I was left kind of confused. And I was like, I wanted some more depth. I wanted some more answers. I was like waiting. I was like waiting for like this moment that happened in her past that created this, or like, where did it start from? I just felt like something was missing from the show. And I think that even if I heard someone say that the writer was trying not to give a reason for the eating disorder because everyone gets it for different reasons and you don't want people to think it's only one specific reason. I get that, but it's a movie that was portraying about this girl and we're focusing on this movie. I want to know her why. That's what I call it, the why. Why did she develop an eating disorder? And it was never truly portrayed. And to me, that shows audiences, that shows the general public that eating disorders just happen and that's how it is and there it is. It didn't really show her recovering. I mean, it showed her deciding to go back to a facility. So yeah, someone saying, I agree, it was definitely vague. They kept touching the surface of where her ED started, but it never dived into it. Exactly. I was waiting for that depth. I was waiting for the why. I wanted to dig deep because people only see the surface level of eating disorders, and I'm like waiting for people to get deep into it because that's what it's about. And that kind of like at the end, I was like, I hate this. And it was because of how it ended. So other things that I do like, I like that it showed a male in treatment because males are not portrayed for eating disorders whatsoever. So I'm really glad that they showed a male. I wasn't a huge fan that they tried to put a love story in there. I mean, if you're gonna focus on a fucking eating disorder, then be straight up and be real about that. It's just about this eating disorder, because I don't know if you guys have been through it, but I have been through it. And when I was going through an eating disorder, I did not want social interaction. All I wanted to care about was food and working out and calories and the number on the scale. So like, I understand that a movie would be pretty damn boring if it just showed you in your room suffering and crying, but I think it could have got a lot deeper. And yeah, Kelly's agreeing. She's like, yeah. So I mean, it started off like I was like excited in a weird kind of way, like, oh, this is going to be a great representation, it's not glorifying it. But then it just got so vague that I was like, so what? Like, what's the point? What does someone get out of this other than seeing, okay, yes, an eating disorder looks, you know, sick and sad and everything, but the movie itself could have went a lot deeper. It could have ended a lot better. There could have been a lot more answers ended, and that's for anyone watching. And I think that it's not glorifying it. It is bringing some awareness, but the awareness needs to be a hell of a lot deeper to make a change. And I don't know, if you guys haven't watched it, watch it. Let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, I don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but I also was like, when it ended, I was like almost kind of mad because I'm like, what the hell? Why did this happen to this girl? It just showed her suffering. And if anyone watched it on here right now agrees, let me know. Is it triggering? I would say that I did cry during the movie, not during the whole thing. There were moments that I got emotional. Is it triggering? There can be triggering moments for sure. I wouldn't say it's triggering, no one watch it, because it's triggering. That's a very individual, personal thing. If you start to watch it and you feel uncomfortable and you feel really, really triggered, then don't finish it. But there are moments and scenes that are kind of hard to watch, especially if you've been through it. So that really hit home to me. So yeah, it can be emotional, it can be triggering. I didn't find it triggering. I was glad they gave minimal numbers. I think a lot of the visuals of her showing her quite thin was triggering for me. Because that just makes me kind of cringe. That makes me kind of just feel really weird. But yeah, it wasn't 100% triggering, but I think for some people it might be, especially the restrictive behavior, seeing a person that small. I wish they would have went into deeper reasoning why, like more about control. Like, okay, she's fixated with calories and being a certain weight, but like why? And like represent that control a little bit more. I read that Lily Collins lost weight to play this role. She struggled with an ED in the past and has lots of people supporting her, so she didn't relapse. What are your thoughts on actors putting themselves through drastic changes? Yeah, I was actually wondering, because I didn't look into that, and I was like, wow, this actor is really, really thin. What did they do to get her this thin? So that's very interesting. I did not know that she had an ED in the past. I think that as long as she didn't relapse, which is great. I mean, I don't know. If you want to make a movie about someone with anorexia, they have to be small, and it has to be shockingly small. And if she gained the weight back and is healthy, okay. But I mean, I don't know. Doing it in a drastic measure like that is kind of meh. Where's the moral in that? I don't know. If she's happy and healthy now, it's cool. But again, I don't know if I agree with someone putting themselves and starving themselves to look a certain very thin way. That just kind of confuses me. But yeah, I overall I was like meh. I just wanted more depth. I think there's so much more depth. I mean, I talk about a lot more depth with eating disorders than that movie even touched on. I felt like it was very surface level. And if you're gonna do a movie about a mental illness that is on the rise, that is so high today, then you got to get deep and you got to get real. And they could have done a better job doing that. But I'm happy that it was not glorified, and I'm happy that they showed a male in treatment because that's amazing. I think that the counselor could have been like, he was like shot out to be this like amazing counselor, and like, okay, like some of the things he said, like to her were very blunt, and I do like that because I do that, like that blunt kind of therapy, asking them questions that they need to answer themselves. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I thought this guy was supposed to be a little bit better. The part that I cried at was during when he brought them all and it was like raining and then the music went and I just like started crying. But yeah, I don't know. I thought about it during my sleep last night. It was like on my mind, and I was like, I need to talk about this because it's so interesting. And I just feel like meh. I mean, I'm not that impressed. I would not watch it again. I don't even think I would recommend it to someone. Besides the first 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, wow, I can relate to this so much. Like, they're showing all these calorie counting and like how you get compulsive behaviors. But at the end, I was just kind of like, what the heck? Like, what was the deal? What happened? Like, I want to know deep deal issues, why this happened, because that's the root of the problem. The problem isn't, okay, all of a sudden you have anorexia. It's, why did you develop it? How can we fix it? And that was not portrayed in the movie. And I think that's what people are missing out on, is missing out on the deep, real, what I call the why. So in future, if some director is watching this live stream, which I doubt they are, but let's just have a good laugh. Seriously, dig deeper into it, and it could be a lot more of a powerful movie. But if you haven't watched it yet, if you want to watch it. Let me know your thoughts. Who knows if this live stream will stay up or not. Facebook likes to take mine down, even though there's no bad content in this. But those are my 2 cents. Yeah, thank you so much for people who watched it giving in their opinions. I just feel like there could have been some more to it. And after it ended, I just sat there with my boyfriend and I was like, what the fuck? Like, WTF? What happened? All of a sudden it just ended, and I hated the ending. And we actually talked about it. We thought, what about, it could have been better as a TV series, because it could have took more time to explain her background. It could have took more time to explain her past experiences, her family. It didn't even show the father. The father could have showed up for like a minute, but it didn't even show the father, which I was kind of confused about. But again, it had to be deeper, and that's what people want, is deep story. And I understand that people go through eating disorders for different reasons, but if you're showing this person's story, show her story. But it was also showing everyone else's story in treatment and realizing that there's many different ways to go through it. So anyways, those are my 2 cents. Very interesting if you want to watch it. It can be a little triggering at times, depending on what you find triggering. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, or if you have to watch it yet. It just came out yesterday. But yeah, very interesting. And if I have more thoughts, I'll let you guys know later. But thanks for watching this early morning live stream when I just rolled out of bed. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great Saturday.